Hello, today is Sunday, April 22nd, 2012. It's Sunday, and here's your update for today. Let's do a radiation update because nothing much has changed yet. Let's see what we got going on today. We'll check out the ENE News, Energy News. Going into, let's see, Fukushima, Japan. Developing. Explosion at Japan chemical complex still burning. 3,379 containers of nuclear waste on site. Reports of depleted uranium. Government says no release of toxic materials. Wow. Guess that's one way to burn this stuff. Japan Times on plant mutations. Trees died and others grew in abnormal shapes, says ecologist visiting Japan from Chernobyl. Watch. Babies born this year may be working at Fukushima Daiichi one day. This one is called, what is it? INES. What is it? I'm trying to pronounce that. INES Level 1 event at Tokai nuclear plant after March 11th quake. Cobalt 60 detected outside of radiation control area. Safety inspectors rushed to site. CNN, Fukushima Daiichi engineer says we still don't know what's going on inside the reactors. Cold shutdown wasn't true then, and it is still not true today. Well, and this goes all the way back onto the 20th. I'll report a couple more things, and then we'll go on to Canada, United States. Squeals of delight from environmentalists. Japan will awake on May 6, powered entirely by non-nuclear energy, DPJ lawmaker. As many as half of us are against the idea of restart. Public opposition running hot now. Solid majority against nuclear power. Now, let's go back up and let's look at U.S. Canada. California nuclear plant. No further description of fire could be provided. Cause was still unclear. Okay, that was yesterday. Fire at California San Onofre nuclear plant burns for over 40 minutes. Cause unknown. Fairwinds Energy Education launches new website. And I think that now we're going back to the 19th, and I did report on the rest of this. So, a little bit of a short report today. Other than, let's see, I think I saw something off of Extinction Protocol 2012. I'll go back in there just for a second for you. There was something going on with some kind of war games. China is having war games now or something. Let's see. Yep, Russian ships arriving in China for naval war game. And that's basically your news for today. Please stay tuned. Lots of UFO disclosure today. Today is UFO Disclosure Day. I'm running as much UFO disclosure information that I can for you. And you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. You still have time left. We have one day into the weekend, right now left, a part of a day. And hopefully you got to see the meteors going for the meteor shower that I reported on yesterday. And enjoy all the UFO disclosure information I have put on this report for today. And tomorrow we'll start the countdown again. So, you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the Sunday. And I gotta wait to turn this off. Here we go. It's coming up. Take care. See you again on Monday. Ooh.
Now, though, the politics of UFOs. Mexican Air Force pilots capturing on videotape what are said to be 11, count them, 11 UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They are officially that. Bright objects, some sharp points of light moving quickly across the sky. The tape called historic by some. Members of the Mexican Defense Department saying it's the first time UFOs have had the backing of any country's armed forces. Now, a group of activists calling on the United States government to end what it says is an embargo on the truth about extraterrestrial life. What is that thing on your screen? With us now from Washington is Stephen Bassett, founder and executive director of the Extraterrestrial Phenomena Political Action Committee. Last time he was here, he was running for Congress, was unsuccessful in that venture. But I will ask you today, sir, the Mexican government, the Mexican military says, hey, we took these pictures, these are UFOs. What was that, do you know?
This is significant for two reasons, Shepard. One, this is released by the Defense Ministry of Mexico. This is a message being sent to the United States government that Mexico and many other governments are losing patience with our government's intransigence in ending this embargo. Other messages have been sent by France in 1999 with the Cometa report, and by the United Kingdom when they released a substantial number of documents regarding the Bentwaters case in 2000. Many countries know about the extraterrestrial presence, but they've deferred to the United States with regard to the timing of when disclosure would take place, but they're simply losing patience.
How do we know this, by the way?
Well, we know it by paying attention. I've been following this now for 10 years. We call it the politics of disclosure, the disclosure process. Hundreds of government witnesses in this country have come forward, and other governments are putting pressure on our government. The media hasn't covered it thoroughly enough, Shepard. If it did, it would learn about some of the things I'm mentioning here, and also learn about thousands of other videos and photographs that have been taken over Mexico by Mexican citizens since 1991.
There's absolutely no question about that, and his number, thousands, is accurate since 1991. Thousands of pictures and videotapes of discs, but never anything like this taken by such sophisticated cameras on board military vehicles.
Oh, there's been plenty of...
But not as clear and widespread as this, and government confirmed in this way. I'm just saying that these are unusual in that way.
Oh, no, it's happened many times before, but this is the first time it's been released. Believe me, there is evidence like this in the archives of every major first world government in the country, but they release this publicly in a news conference in Mexico City. That's the difference.
Studies have been done that, quote, clearly indicate the likelihood of an extraterrestrial explanation. But there are people sitting out there, I'm hoping there are millions of people watching at the moment, who are saying, this is nutty. Why, you know, why do we even talk about such things?
The polls show otherwise, Shepard. CNN, Time, Reuters polls, last 10 years, consistently, 50% of all Americans believe the extraterrestrial explanation accounts for these sightings. Up to as many as 90% of Americans believe the government is outright lying. The polls are unambiguous. Year after year, the same thing. In fact, if you could talk anonymously to people, even in Congress, probably 50% of members of Congress already convinced that the extraterrestrial presence explains this phenomena. Disclosure is at hand. It is very close, and the American people need to prepare themselves very soon for an announcement from our government that there is, in fact, an extraterrestrial presence engaging this planet and the human race.
All right. Well, there you have it. Very interesting. Thank you. We'll try to find out more about the lights, and the next time there's a congressman around, I'll ask him. Probably not on the camera, but I'll ask him off the camera. So there's something to feed on.
A las 7, a la misma altura. Hay unas nubes ahí, se debe de ver esto. Pero, a ver, busquen eso que viene atrás de nosotros.
¿Ve cómo se ve? Se ve como en dos faros.
Viene como a las 7, 8 de la posición. Lo raro es que trae una punta adelante, un puntito adelante. A ver, radar, ¿qué tenemos?
Nada, señor. A ver, permítame, déjale busco.
¿Y nosotros? Comandante, ¿qué es eso?
¿Qué distancia más o menos lo tenías, Telles?
Oye, a ver, abusados, es como...
Ahí van más, siguen más atrás. Son 10, 11 objetos.
Son muchos objetos.
Afirmativo. Ahí van. Va, uno. Y ahí van los atrás. Siguientes.
¿Qué es eso? Dios mío.
Se anda correteando.
¿Qué es eso? A ver.
Trata de enfocar.
Máximo.
Ok, no dejes que los dejes atrás. Ok.
Van.
Sigue ese, no lo dejes,
No,
Telles.
van todos, van aproximadamente
Ay, cabrón,
como 10.
como
¿Ya lo dio?
4.
¿Ya lo dio? ¿Qué van pasando?
Tú maneja, no lo
Varios,
pierdas.
¿eh?
Sí. Ahí van.
Ahí van. 3, 4, 5, 6. Son 6.
Abajo o arriba o arriba.
En medio, ahí van.
Ahí van a ir 1, 2, 3,
la misma
4,
altura.
5.
Qué barbaridad, ¿eh?
Ahí se van a ver bien. Y van a una velocidad, pero... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 en la pantalla.
Síguelo, no lo cierras.
¿Están a la misma altura, Telles?
Afirmativo.
Poquito, arriba,
Arribita.
arriba.
8, 9, 10, 11 contando toda la cola. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
Ok, no sabemos qué estamos viendo, son unos objetos nada más luminosos que vienen a la misma altura que nosotros, pero no podemos saber qué distancia. ¿Por qué nos vienen siguiendo?
The Mexican Air Force has released a video that some of you are going to find difficult to believe. A journalist says it shows images of UFOs tracking a Mexican military plane. He says Mexico's defense secretary gave him the video, which was allegedly taken by the pilot during a patrol. The pilot says up to 16 lights were tracking his aircraft. The Mexican defense secretary says images like these have never been released to the public by the armed forces of any country.
And they're saying scientists can look at them and try to figure out what they think. If they're really, really...
An incredible story coming out of the Vatican. Listen to this. The senior Vatican scientist said that he would be delighted if we encountered intelligent aliens and would be happy to baptize them. His pronouncement opens up the possibility of space missionaries heading out to the stars to convert aliens to Christianity. We're going to talk with a couple guests in a moment about this story. First, though, Richard Hoagland from the EnterpriseMission.com. Richard, what does this all mean?
Well, you know, the drip, drip, drip is becoming a splash, splash, splash. This is obviously planned run-up to disclosure. I mean, there's no other way to account for this. This guy is the Pope's chief astronomer. He is in charge of the Pope's meteorite collection back in Rome. I didn't know the Pope had a meteorite collection.
Well, he must have a good one.
And he's speaking tomorrow at the British Science Festival in Birmingham, but he's just down the street when the Pope coincidentally happens to be in London when he makes this series of major pronouncements officially. This is not like, Cardinal Balducci. This is official on the record Vatican policy. Remember when they said that the aliens or ETs would be our brothers and sisters?
This was the same guy who said that.
It's drip, drip at an increasing pace. Now, in a few days at the Stephen Greer's Transformation Conference down in Arizona, I'm going to be presenting some extraordinary new data on how all this fits into a disclosure paradigm that is racing at us at Warp 9, at his Rio Rico conference. And all I can say is that there's going to be an accelerating cascade of these events, not only from the Vatican. I mean, the Pope is in London to, brief her on the Vatican's perspectives on extraterrestrials? And you're going to see things coming from our administration. There's a lot of clues that we're getting closer to some kind of official movement this fall. Remember, there's this big conference, the ESA conference going on in Rome beginning next week, where the Phobos data is supposed to finally come out that we've been talking about for months and months and months. So, no, I'm not surprised, and I'm looking forward to what your guests have to say, and all I can say is the big news here is not that the church is saying we would baptize aliens. I mean, give me a break. It's the legitimization of the conversation that aliens exist, George, and regardless of whether there are fake plans afoot, the false flag, or it's the real deal, it's irrelevant because there's enough data on the public record now, our work, Stephen's work, a lot of other work, that regardless of politically where this is tried to be bent, to be manipulated, the truth will come out as soon as the idea of aliens is legitimized, and that's why this story is of major import tonight.
Well, I'm glad you pointed it out to us, Richard. Richard hopped all over the story. And, of course, the father of modern-day ufology. In one of my very first radio interviews of the paranormal and the unusual back in 1971 was none other than with Stanton Friedman. What is your reaction to this story that sounds kind of funny, that the Vatican would love to baptize any ETs?
Well,
Come on.
When the Pope said last year, I guess it was, that, God made us, he made them, our brethren in outer space, and my first reaction was, what does he know that we don't know? It sounds like he was getting a billion Catholics ready for the big disclosure, doesn't it? I mean, why else would he say something?
G'day guys, Dylan from Australian Phenomena here, and I've come across this website called World Disclosure Day, July 8th. Basically, this website's about bringing all the governments of the world together and admitting the extraterrestrial presence to every human on this planet. Well, almost every human, unless they're like a caveman or something. Anyway, World Disclosure Day. It's a pretty interesting thing because you can go to the supporters here, which you click it. It's basically one way we could at least try to get the truth out of the government. It's like squeezing a lemon that the juice won't come out. Well, we've got to squeeze this lemon pretty hard. Anyway, the juice is the truth, by the way. Anyway, to personally endorse World Disclosure Day as a component of the truth, click here. So basically, I've already sent in a personal endorsement form, which basically helps support disclosure July 8th. And basically, tons of people from all over the world have entered an endorsement form. You've got Canada, Sweden, UK, France, Germany, Australia, China. See, look, if we come together and we show the government that we're ready to see the truth, and they look at this list of all these people, then hopefully it changes their mind, Because I reckon... Oh, sorry, I just got a message from Alexi. So look, lots of people, Brazil, Finland, Germany, lots of people really want the truth, and I want the truth, because, it's just, I feel robbed of our civilization's pride, hiding such a truth from us. How can one get away with that, How can they get away with it? But I guess they've been letting the truth out in snippets, over time, but that's not good enough, Because I think if they don't disclose it now, then it's going to end up disclosing itself, because if they don't warn us about this, if they don't say, hey, we have had an extraterrestrial presence and we're sorry for lying, we're sorry, yeah, but sorry's not going to do it, is it? Sorry's not going to do it. Not for 60 years. Sorry isn't going to work. You're going to need another word besides sorry. Yeah, anyway, yeah, 'cause basically, yeah, just sign, you just click here if you're personally endorsing, and if you're an organisation, click there, and you add in your endorsement form, click here. You don't have to add in your phone number, all it is first name, last name, email, and comments, send endorsement, and basically you're on the list. And the more people, I reckon, is the better, because then it can strengthen this entire World Disclosure Day, July 8th. So if you guys can check out the site, add in an endorsement to help support it, the link's down below, and yeah, it'd be good, because I want to see lots of people on this. I want to see tons, you know. The more people, the better. Because, yeah, you know, all these people coming from around the world writing an endorsement. Look, holy moly. Ireland, Dublin. Oh, man. This is insane, all these people. Wouldn't be surprised if, like, every human being on this planet signed this form. You'd have, like, a scroll bar, like, so microscopic you wouldn't even be able to scroll down all the way to the bottom. Anyway, yeah, so if you guys can check it out, it's a pretty interesting website, and it's got a Facebook page too. I already liked it. Yeah, so, yeah, come on, come down and check it out. It's pretty interesting. Please help it out, and peace, guys. See you later.
Con Luis Farrakhan, un hombre que encabezó una marcha de 1 millón de hombres en Washington, un hombre que es reconocido de alguna manera como el sucesor de los líderes negros más importantes que existen o han existido en los Estados Unidos. Este hombre, para nuestra sorpresa, habla abiertamente del fenómeno extraterrestre. Nos dice no solamente que es una verdad, sino que es inevitable y que el mundo muy pronto conocerá de esta extraordinaria realidad.
It has been a secret, above top secret, in the United States and in governments around the world. But more recently, governments have decided to expose to their populace the reality of the existence of these so-called unidentified flying objects.
Do you think it's time now to let everybody know about this? Are we ready for this?
Whether those in power think it's time or not is immaterial or irrelevant, because these wheels are now being seen over the major cities. And when human beings of intelligence can look up and see these phenomenon, or this phenomena, how can you keep hiding it in the midst of thousands upon thousands of people now seeing them? And in this modern age of technology, with recording instruments in a telephone that is now in the hands of millions and billions of people, then when they show up, the people film it. So now, what can you say now? You could say it was swamp gas yesterday. You could say it was a balloon. You could say it was all these explain away techniques of masterful liars and artful deceivers. But today, it is time. And now it is being made manifest. So somebody has to answer the question, what are they? Why are they there? Why have they been over all of the atomic installations, not only in America, but all over the world? Why has the power from these so-called unidentified flying objects been able to nullify the power of rockets to go up in case there is an atomic warfare? The power that these machines exercise, which America has not fully seen yet. I think it is more than time that the populace of our planet should know where these wheels are from, what their real purpose is, who is behind it all, then the people can either accept it or reject it.
Are you in your position going to ask the American government to open the files like other countries have done around this extraterrestrial or so-called wheels phenomenon? What is going to be the official position of Islam in the United States?
It doesn't make any difference to me whether they open them or don't open them, because it's going to be so evident. These wheels will be seen by the American people by the millions in a few days. So whether they open the files or not, how can you continue to lie in the face of the people seeing with their eyes what you have been trying to hide? I heard the other day, and I don't know how true this is, that Hillary Clinton wanted the files to be destroyed. I don't know the truth of that. But if they destroy all of their files, they can't destroy the wheels. So it makes no difference to me. I wouldn't care whether they said it or said it not. I know the truth of it, and soon the American people will know the truth of it. And if Mexico is willing to show what she knows, and France is willing to show it, Russia is willing, China is willing, well, that's the whole world. So America's going to stand by and still act like it doesn't exist? Why would you take such a silly, unscientific, foolish position? Because you are the boss of the world, and you don't want anybody to think that you don't have the intelligence, the technology, the firepower to cope with what is above your head. And I'll say this, dear brother, in conclusion. First, I want to thank you from the depth of my heart for what you have been doing all these years. And I'm sure you have had your share of suffering and rejection and mockery and scorn. But who can mock you now? Who can reject you now? Who can say that Dr. Maussan didn't know what he was talking about when the whole world now is talking about it? So on behalf of the Muslims, and on behalf of all of those who will view your plenary session by webcast that we will send all over the world, thousands here will see it, but hopefully millions will see your presentation, God willing, on tomorrow. And so the more that hear, the more that see, the more will know that you always have been telling the truth as you knew it. May God bless you, continue to bless you, and protect you, and all those who are willing to stand up for truth. This is our perspective on this phenomena